for a new episode.
An episode? Epilogue?
Listen.
You all who are listening should be glad right now because we just started recording and Woifi was talking in Austrian German for like a solid 40 seconds. And
2 seconds.
No, it was longer. It was
Grüß Gott.
Oh no.
Grüß euch zurück beim Podcast bei Servus, ich höre zu. Mit mir, der Woifi und der Dani. We should totally do it like an Austrian German podcast. Totally annoying.
Were you talking German the whole time and I talk in English and the people only hear one side of the conversation?
Yeah.
I like it.
That would be fun.
Let's revamp our podcast again.
Completely confusing. People are like, what is he saying? I have no clue. What is she saying? I don't know.
And it's like, you know, the radio station that does that? Here, there's a radio station where someone talks in German and the woman talks in English. But they do it in a really good way where the person talking repeats almost what the person before said in their response. Mm-hmm. So you kind of get the gist of the conversation. But it would be funny if we didn't do that.
Yeah.
So you say something in German, I'm just like, yeah, I agree. That's a great point.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Great. Let's do it.
What's going on? What's going on, huh?
What do you mean, what's going on?
You're like, what's going on in your life and stuff?
Work and I started a business.
Oh. What is that pig doing on your lap?
It's my, you know, sometimes when you leave the house and you're gone for a long time, I get lonely. So it's my comfort pig.
Oh.
I let him sleep in your bed.
I see. Are you feeding it carrot sticks?
No, he doesn't like carrots. He's really picky.
Okay.
He likes cake.
Yeah, you started your own business.
I did.
Look at it on prananda.at. Prananda.at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a Reiki meditation and massage business. And I'm very, very excited about it. And I have been doing a lot of networking this week and figuring out what I want to do with my Instagram page, how I want to advertise and stuff like that. So I've had a busy week.
Busy bee.
Yeah. But it feels good. I'm really excited about it. And you can also check out my Instagram page. It's at _Prananda_. But you can also just search Prananda and you'll find it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. How are you? What's new?
I just got a negative YouTube comment on a video. My first one.
Yeah, happens.
It's like, this is trash and garbage.
They didn't say that.
I mean, basically.
They said it was
filmed.
They said it was cliche.
Cliche. I mean, ugh.
But you know, to each their own.
I know.
You're an artist. You live in the artist's world.
I'm an artist.
You are.
I paint with my mind. No, it's fine.
You have to be able to take the criticisms too.
I know.
Part of it.
The thing is, I do.
There are people who don't like my massages. I mean, that's never actually happened. So
I'm one of them. Yeah. No, all is good. I don't have much work right now, but it's okay. I did a video on anxiety, which was kind of cool to talk about it. And that's it. Nothing else going on.
Cool.
Very cool. Oh, I started teaching again, which is fun.
Yeah. And what are you teaching? I mean, I know, but our listeners don't know.
Anal brushing.
We're back to that now. For those of you who tuned in last week, we had a 3 to 5 minute segment on anal brushing.
It wasn't that long, but yeah.
I think it was probably that long.
You're exaggerating. You're like, it was actually like 2 minutes and you're like, oh, it's been an hour. It took about an hour.
I just said 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's still more.
No, it's not.
I mean, 3 is more than 2.
But was not
We'll check it out and
wildly
we'll talk about it.
exaggerated.
We'll check it out, how much it was, and then talk to you about it next week.
Yes, let's please keep bringing up anal brushing in our episodes.
I'm teaching like basic video stuff, like camera work and like light and audio and editing and stuff like that.
Cool beans.
Very cool beans. And I like it. And the people in my class right now are very appreciative of, and even though one of them slept away today.
They fell asleep?
Yeah, but it's okay. I don't care.
Maybe that's a compliment. Maybe it means you're soothing. You have a soothing voice.
I should like an
NPR radio
2 minutes,
voice.
I should just shout a word out. Like obnoxiously loud, just shout it out. And everybody's like, what just happened, man?
Or just throw make like little paper airplanes and throw the paper airplanes
at their faces. They just open their eye and just get stuck in their eye or something. Yeah. What are we talking about today?
I mean, it's your topic, so
you
can.
So I don't know what to call it now, but you will read it on the title. But
when I asked him earlier what our topic was, he gave me like a 3-sentence. See, it's not that exaggerated. Like a 3-sentence description of what this episode is about.
Because I can't pin it down really, but it's a more philosophical.
I
know. Thank you. Philosophical topic. And it's about why are we as most humans trying to be good or trying to do good when in comparison being bad seems sometimes
more
like
appealing.
Pays off more or appealing or easier, you know? That was my idea. And the idea came while reading Mike Schur's new book, How to Be Perfect, which is essentially that, like, he's talking about how to be a better human being by depicting and comparing philosophical ideas from like philosophers a couple of like ages ago. Like really old ones to new ones and stuff. And I like the idea
like
because
Socrates and Aristotle.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Which is kind of funny if we, as a human being, we live our lives and sometimes seem so lost. Like we don't know what to do or like we seek an answer to a question when it would be so easy to just read about someone who had a similar problem, and a lot of people go through the same problems. And especially in philosophy, you can find a lot of answers to those very life, like meaning of life and stuff, like questions, very questions where you don't just can pin it down and say that's just how it is because it's so different to every person.
It's like in The Circle of Iron / The Secret Flute movie. Do you remember? With David Carradine.
Yeah, I remember.
And at the end, spoiler alert. At the end, he's searching for the one book, and it has like all the answers to life secrets. And he opens it and it's just a mirror. Yeah. And he starts laughing hysterically. It's so deep.
Yeah. But essentially it's that. I thought about why is it that we as human beings are trying to be good and trying to do good and trying to live this life as long as we have here on Earth as good as possible by not trying to harm someone or something on purpose. Or even leave the world worse than we entered it. 2 exceptions.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, And so the characteristics of a good person is basically that so let me do it again. Let's cut that. cut that. No, but there are certain characteristics that like define a good person. And one of them, for example, is empathy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you are, or if you want to be a better person, you need to learn to be more empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that a lot of people are missing these days, or
Mm-hmm.
are not training enough,
Mm-hmm.
or are losing
or just because of the state of the world,
yeah,
we get desensitized.
I mean, yeah. But that still doesn't mean that you have to be less empathetic.
No,
you know, you can still you don't have to drown yourself in sorrows and bad thoughts and stuff. You can still say, okay, if you look at the Ukraine, for example, or the people who are refugees now here in Europe, that you feel with them, yet you understand them to a certain, you know.
But I think a common mistake or misconception of empathy is that empathy is only about empathizing with the sadness in the world, or the downfalls, but it's also the joys, and you know, when someone's happy, you're able to empathize with them and share in that happiness and share in that joy.
It's both ways. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So another one is honesty. So a good person doesn't lie. It's been said in the Bible. You can take it or leave it, whatever. But I think in the core, we know that lying is not good. And most of the time, I would say 99.99999%, nothing good comes from lying.
Yeah.
And we even talked about it in a podcast.
We did.
So
I would say 100%. I don't think any good comes from lying. What is that small percentage for you?
Giving someone hope and forging the truth a little bit to give them that hope, I think in certain situations can be preferable. That would be the only situation where I can see that lying would be good. For example, someone would die 100%. They're dying in your arms.
Wouldn't you rather?
And they're saying, am I dying? I'm so scared. I would say, you're fine. You will be fine. I'm here.
But that's not lying. Because
essentially
they will be fine.
Yeah, but essentially it is.
If someone is...
You're not telling them the truth. You're not blunt with them.
Yeah, but if someone is dying, they know that they're dying. And so if they ask that, I think they ask that because they're just scared obviously.
I mean, sure.
But they don't... If you tell them you're fine, they're not going to think, oh, I'm not dying. Like, there's no hope for them that they're going to...
No, sure.
So I wouldn't classify that as a lie.
Yeah,
I would classify that as empathy.
Sure. But so that is the only example where I would say I would lie, so to say. Humility, being humble, for example, is something that is a very rare thing amongst a certain type of people. Mm-hmm. Especially because once you get used to a certain, lifestyle, for example, or life that you have, accommodated, it's maybe hard to stay down to earth. And I appreciate that when, you see people who are like super rich or super famous, and you hear them talk like in an intimate setting, like in a podcast, for example, and you hear that they're super down to earth. Mm-hmm. Because that makes them human, and you can relate to them, and you can see that they're not, living in a complete different sphere.
But I think, again, you can look at the other side of it and say there's also maybe even a greater deal to be said about people who have nothing and have so much humility.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, a humble person is willing to give of themselves and does not expect to receive anything in return. And that doesn't mean only physical things. A person who has nothing can still give you their love, for example, or their their respect.
Or they can listen to your problems. You
Right.
can talk with them and they listen without judgment.
Yep. Another thing is fairness. Like if you are good or if you want to be good, fairness is something that is important. Obviously, nothing can be 100% fair. That's just how it is. But being free from personal biases means that an individual can give an opinion without prejudice.
Prejudice. I don't like that word either. It's hard to say.
It reflects a commitment to the basic principle of what is right rather than being committed to the opinions of others. So I think that tells it very well, because being fair means you're not biased. You're not, you see not in black and white rather than gray. Everybody is the same.
That's
everything
lacking
is the same.
So much.
Yeah.
From a good percentage of the population these
Especially
days.
Because if you think about, I think almost everybody wants the same peace and have a great life, whatever that means for them, have a life where they don't have to worry about stupid shit. And that's something as a society we should work towards, not fight each other over it. Responsibility is another one. I think that is, a very important thing, because if you're not responsible for the things you do, for the things you say, for the actions, then you can't be a good person, because everybody fucks up once in a while. Everybody does something that might not be the best for themselves or someone else. And being responsible and admitting fault is a huge step to getting better and being better.
I mean that's like that's like my life's motto, is saying things like it's not, or at least having the thought process of, humans, we all make mistakes, we all fuck up, we all do stupid shit, we all hurt people, but it's not those actions necessarily that make us bad people, or good people, however you want to see it. It's what you do with them. So it's, you make a mistake, you learn from it, and what do you do with that knowledge? That's what defines you as being a good person, I think. And I think that's something that I, in the past couple of years, have kind of lived by.
Yeah. Especially if you think about, we all are in relationships with people, either work, friendships, like being married, romantic relationships. And so your way of dealing with people and your way of behaving and acting and just being around people defines those relationships. And so if you treat people poorly and try to, use them for whatever purpose, reflects bad on you and will also
it always comes back.
And it comes back, right?
How you treat other people always comes back to you,
right?
In some way or form, whether it's people starting to treat you the same way that you treat them and you notice, oh, that doesn't feel good, or maybe it leaves you super lonely and without a lot of people in your life, it always comes back to you.
Sure. If you think about like rich people who seemingly can buy anything and have everything and are still assholes because of the way maybe they treat their employees or something, that those people are most likely completely lonely. Because you can't buy friendship, you can't buy family, you can't buy those things. You can buy people who just hang around and laugh at your jokes, sure, like an entourage, but that's it. So I think, and I mean, let's be honest, at the end, what matters is friends, family, and love.
Yeah.
That's all that matters, because you can't eat money. You can't take it with you but you can leave something back, and that what you leave back is the impact that you had on your family, friends, whatever. So what does it matter if I have, I don't know, $1 billion if I don't have anyone to share it with, or to make them feel better, or to even love them or being loved? It matters nothing. Sure, I can do anything, I can buy anything, but that's it.
But those things have no real value.
Right. Those things doesn't make you happy. If you, sure, it's nice to don't worry about certain things like paying rent and stuff, but then there are still other stuff you worry about. Health, for example. It's not like your health will be great all the time. You still have diseases. You still have to figure things out. Loneliness, you still have to figure that out. Dating, I mean, if you're super rich, it's hard to date. Yeah. But
it's hard to date.
I mean, sure, I think to find someone who really loves you for you and not for the money and the wealth or whatever you have, you know, or being famous.
I don't think that has anything to do with wealth. I mean, sure, wealthy people might have that, quote, struggle, but I think love in any stage of your life, no matter what you have or don't have, I think is hard. I would argue it's harder to find love when you have nothing.
Yeah, probably.
To find somebody who loves you for you when you have nothing.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I don't have anything. Okay, bye.
And I love you still.
That was the door. No, but
you should start doing like sound design for films where you like, what is it called? The people who do what is it called?
What is it called?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Guff. No.
Wow.
Way I'm blanking right
you
now.
should have seen the look he gave me when I asked him what it's called. He like raised his eyebrows in this really cocky way, like, oh, what is it called?
Oh man, I'm blanking right now. I've been talking so much today.
Wolfgang, what is it called? Huh? What is it called, Wolfgang?
I don't know right now.
Huh?
Okay. Foley artist.
Yeah. You should do that.
Yep. I am actually.
Because your door sound was so convincing.
Not with my mouth.
No, but that's what I mean.
Oh, with my mouth.
All of the sound effects come from you.
That would be so funny.
If somebody farts, you can just fart.
Yeah. So let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And we're back.
How was your poop?
It was good. It was pretty solid. Good color. Didn't have to wipe. It was great.
I mean, you should always wipe.
No. You know, life is a gamble. Sometimes you get the brown stain.
Yeah, but it's starting to get really unpleasant sleeping next to you tonight because you never wipe your ass. So it's just like, and in the shower, you don't clean it either.
Danielle, it's fine. I wipe it on your pillowcase.
It's just a collection of poop encrusted around your anus.
Danielle, it's fine. I wipe it on your pillowcase. And then I turn the pillow around.
That's nice.
Yep.
Thanks.
Oh, man. Hey, let's be serious. So,
I was being totally serious.
yeah, let's talk about the philosophical things. Like, why do you think, like, if you look at like bad people in the world, they seem to have a lot of things. Yeah.
Like
money,
they
wealth,
own a lot of things. Yeah.
Power.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to have a lot of those things.
Not always, though. Look at a lot of serial killers. A lot of serial killers don't have that much.
Yeah, but most of serial killers are like mentally ill and have other like super serious conditions.
Yeah, sure, but
I mean, and I'm talking about narcissists, for example, like Putin or other dictators or Jeff Bezos, for example, who seem to have everything, so much money, power in a lot of ways or forms. And they're not good people, most of them. The thing is, I don't know Jeff Bezos, but from what I know, that how Amazon workers are treated and stuff like that, he can't be that good. He lost that. At some point,
anyone who uses their money at this day and age and it's like, I'm just gonna fly to space. Instead of like, let's maybe use this money for something useful.
Yeah, or let's deconstruct this bridge so my $1 million yacht can go through this river.
Right.
No, but my question is, so why most people are still trying to be good when it seems like being an asshole, being a narcissist gets you further?
Because I think humans are innately good. I think...
I agree.
I don't believe that... It's just like that whole thing with nature versus nurture, which we don't have to go into.
No.
But no one is born evil or born bad. I think that power is really addictive.
Yeah.
I think actually I would say a lot of these bad qualities are addictive.
I think so too.
You get addicted to the power, you get addicted to the money, you get addicted to the stuff, you get addicted to the attention, whether it's good or bad attention. You still get addicted to it.
Yeah.
So I think it has much more to do with our tendency to be so susceptible to things that are addictive. It's no different than alcohol or gambling or drugs.
Yeah.
It gives you that same sense of endorphins and, you know, that rush. That's what I think.
I mean, that's a good point. So
I'm very philosophical.
You just said a very good thing. And there was this, fallout at the Oscars this year. We're not going into that. But Denzel Washington said to Will Smith, in your highest moments, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you. And I think that's, if you break it down, the devil can be many things, You can take it like for, what is it called? You can take it as a metaphor. You can take it, what is the word I'm looking for? Like, if you take something like it's written, like completely.
Like at face value or something.
Yeah, basically. So, and I think at some point when you get so high up and so, everything comes to you and you can do anything and you gain all that money, fame and power or whatever, at some point there comes this tipping point where you either actively ask yourself or get asked by, circumstances, which kind of person you want to be. And I totally agree that I think that at some point those things are so addictive and you want more and more and more and more, and you can stop.
And it doesn't help that we live in a society that is constantly advertising to us that we need more, that you need this, whether it's this new outfit or you need to go shopping at this place, you need this furniture, you need this, like these expensive products that you need them in your life.
Yeah. And also, I mean,
or you need followers on Instagram. You need the gratification.
How you grew up, obviously, but yeah, exactly. You get almost advertised your whole life that
more.
More money is the best thing you can have. More money brings you wealth, fame.
But it starts
health.
In childhood.
Yeah,
I mean, just remember the commercials when we were kids. I mean, I'm sure you had the same thing here. The commercials that they create for children's toys are so highly advertised for children. Like these advertisements are not for the parents. They are for the kids. They're like, these kids are going to be watching this show, so we're going to advertise these toys, and it's going to be super fast and full of colors and all of these things that grab your attention. And it starts from childhood.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. In this day and age, I think when you see, for example, like with the Ukraine crisis or war, that all of Europe comes together and helps and tries the best to help refugees and help the Ukraine citizens to defend their country, shows that in like very sad, tragic events, people come together. And if you look back at 9/11, for example, that brought America so close together, and they were united after that, which is kind of tragic that something so horrible has to happen that a country realizes, hey, we are all fighting for the same thing. But when we look at society today, I think that's something that we have to acknowledge, even though there might be an asshole on the bus yelling stupid shit, racial slurs or whatever. At the end, he still wants the same thing. He might be misguided, mistreated, mistaught. You know, he might grow up in a very different circumstance where he got taught horrible things. But in the end, he still wants love and peace. He doesn't want to die on the street beaten down by someone. He doesn't want to die by a gunshot. And no matter who you're talking to, everybody wants that. And by being good, like all the things we said before, we can not only portray that, like carry that out and show people, hey, I am a good person, or I try to be a good person. You know, we're not always perfect. We're not always good, but we're trying to. And I think when you show that, when you carry that out, you get it back. And people might change.
Yeah.
Because I think nothing is harder than smiling in a situation where like life beat you down, a horrible day, people are horrible to you. Nothing is harder than just smiling and keeping your head up and saying, yeah, that's it. That was not the best day, but you know, I keep trying. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass.
Like the characters on South Park.
Yeah, yeah.
With the butts for faces. You might not have noticed. But we actually have butts where our faces should be.
What? I did not see that. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, life sometimes just sucks.
But it does for everybody at some point.
Right. Exactly.
And it's all about how it's another thing. Doesn't just work for mistakes. It's just when things get thrown at you, it's what you do with it. And it's okay that it hurts. And that's one of the things that I think is so beautiful about being human is that we can feel so many things. We can feel the lowest of lows, like, how could I possibly go on kind of low, and we still pull ourselves through it. And that is fucking beautiful.
Yep.
And I think it's so important to appreciate even the things that hurt and even the things that feel like shit, because we should just be grateful that we can even feel it.
There's this quote. I don't know if it's really a quote from Napoleon, but I think it's a quote from Napoleon. You can say whatever you want about Napoleon, but he said some quite meaningful things, I think, or
he said,
profound.
Tina, come get your dinner.
Get your lord.
Eat the food.
Not Napoleon Dynamite. Napoleon Bonaparte from France. He said that, I'm paraphrasing right now because I don't know what the quote is in English, but he essentially said that, you know, in situations where you think you would not be able to conquer is the wrong word with Napoleon. Overcome those situations, you find the ways and the power in yourself to adapt and to then overcome those situations. So essentially what he's saying is that everything, and that's what you said, everything that life throws at us and seems maybe wrong or something that is not attainable or even feels completely out of your hands, is in you. You can change it. You can do whatever you want. Sure,
you can rise above it.
It's about luck sometimes. It's about the right moments, but you can still do it.
Yeah. I'm very much a strong believer that everything happens for a reason. And I think it's just important to take everything that comes at you as an opportunity. The negatives and the positives.
Yeah.
I think everything's an opportunity to grow as a human being, to learn, and to figure out who you are. Because quite honestly, I don't think anyone's ever going to have it completely figured out. No. By the time we die, you go through so many changes in your life that even at 30, I can't say I know exactly where my life is going.
Yeah.
I know things that I want to happen in my life, but I know who I am in this moment, and who I am in this moment might be different from who I am 10 years from now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's just important to take everything as an opportunity and every moment as a new chapter of your life.
Growing comes from pain. You don't grow when you're happy. You don't grow.
I don't think that's true.
Not to that extent, though. You don't grow and
grow
change because you're happy frolicking through a field and saying, oh, everything is so cool. You're growing through hardship. You're growing through pain. You're growing through loss. That's just a fact. And those things happen to all of us. Because that's fucking life. We are all human beings.
But I think that's true. But I think we grow through happiness too. Because...
Not to that extent though.
But I would argue that. Because...
Danielle.
I have grown so much through my pain. Absolutely 100%. But I have also grown so much through my happiness. My happiness with you has taught me so much about love in a way that I never would have experienced, I think, without
that's
knowing
not happiness.
You.
I'm kidding.
I'm trying to prove my point by paying you a compliment.
Thank you.
But so I think we grow through every emotion, every experience, every stage of life. But we definitely maybe learn more through the pain. Or I don't know though, because you just learn it a harder way.
No. Because if you look at relationships, for example, you have one relationship that's perfect. They never fight. They're so perfect with each other.
That's not perfect.
Right. They don't learn. They don't grow.
But you do learn from that.
But not really.
Because I learned, I had a relationship where we never fought. And I learned that not fighting it's like
you
poison.
Learned that one thing. You learned that one thing. You didn't learn how to communicate the best way. You didn't learn anything. You like. Sure,
yeah, but
you
that's
did. You grew.
But it showed me that. So I brought that into my next relationship. I brought that into our relationship. And then I had this appreciation for, okay, when we fight, it's not the worst thing in the world. That's an appreciation. That's something I learned from never fighting with somebody and being happy all the time. And that also helped me to learn that communication is what's so important. Yep. Because it was missing from my last relationship.
Yep. But still, going through hardship, technically. So I rest my cage.
Not really. You rest your cage?
I rest my cage. My
Your Nick Cage.
Yep.
But not really.
I think we should end it though.
Okay, but you just kind of proved my point. But okay.
It's fine. I'm right.
I'm right.
Let's
just agree that I'm right.
To disagree.
Okay, great.
Let's agree to disagree, and I'm right. Okay, let's go.
And I'm right.
You heard it, people. I'm right.
I'm right.
Danielle is wrong. I'm wrong. I'm Danielle.
I'm your version of British. Notice how I didn't say I'm British. I'm your version of British.
You're not from Britain?
No.
Oh. So Chicago is not in Britain?
No. It's in South America.
Yep.
But not South America, the continent south of America.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So please follow, rate the podcast now on Spotify. Please do. And share the podcast if you like what you hear. And message us.
About poop.
And love and good and bad.
And your philosophical thoughts about life.
Yeah. All the things are in the description. And until next week.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Baby, bye, bye, bye.